Right. Hello and good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good day, depending on where you're watching us in the world. So this is AAA Foundation. By God's grace, we're no more just a what is it called? Social impact group, which is a very exciting moment for us as a team and as an organization. And thank you, everyone, for the support that you've been giving us since we started. We wouldn't have been where we are if we didn't get the support from every one of you. So thank you very much for those that knows or have seen our beginning and followed our journey till now. We can only say thank you and God bless you. So yes, today we are here again. My name is Efwa. I'm here with Paul Asante, a very dedicated SDG 5 advocate, and I love his enthusiasm. Every time we have a conversation, I get excited because of the passion that comes with what he does, and goes his way to actually advocate for these topics. And I couldn't have had a better guest or partner on this project or this new project that we are embarking on. So thank you all once again. This is AAA Foundation. My name is Efwa and I'm here with Paul Asante today. So we're gonna just talk about an initiative. So it's not ours as a AAA Foundation. It's not our initiative. However, it does go with our vision and mission. It's all Paul's vision or mission and or initiative, and we're not going to take that from him. But as an organization, we were very excited to partner with him on this journey, advocate, educate, and also at the end look to have a physical donation to our beneficiaries, namely people or those with disability. um, so once I was reading around this topic, and then it just dawned on me that disability actually isn't a disability as we read it. Disability. So this ability. So their ability. And I've seen amazing people with this ability that are very able and they're doing extremely well. How ironic that the Paralympics also is in play. I've not been following
Yeah,
it. I don't know if it's still going on or it's done. I mean, look at their abilities.
I
So
think it's
this
ended.
ability, yeah, this ability with our participants or our beneficiaries on this initiative is one that we cannot overlook. We're not leaving anyone behind, and we're going as a team, as a community, as a group on fighting period poverty. So today, without wasting much more time, Olasanti, welcome and thank you very much for honoring our invitation and also looking to or choosing us to partner with you on this advocacy and on this initiative. You're welcome.
Thank you, Triple A Foundation, and congratulations on transitioning
Woo,
from
woo, woo. Thank you, thank you,
to
thank you.
to foundation. I know the prospects are very good, and I wish you and your team all the best of success as well. And I'm excited to have this discourse with our audience all over the globe as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, if you can introduce yourself to our listeners, it will be much appreciated.
All right, thank you. So my name is Paul Asante. I'm from Ghana. Currently a procurement specialist with German Development Corporation, for short GIZ. I'm also a gender focal person and an advocate of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations as well. Thank you.
Great. That is such a great introduction. So, Paul, even though he's very um, you know, concise in his introduction, does and very passionate about leaving no one behind. And when it comes to education for all, especially as he said with the SDG goals, specifically number 5, which is
Yeah.
quality education, which also is very dear to us as an organization, AAA. Because I mean, you can't. with education or with quality education, most or majority of the SDG 5 will um, accomplished. With not schooling, when we say education, we get education outside of school as well. So SDG 5 is also is very clear to us, and so this is why we have Paul in our midst today. So Paul, let's get on with our discussion this evening. Um, let's start with period poverty. Why are you so interested in this topic? As a man, I'm saying that because I mean, there's not a lot of guys out there. With our previous conversation, I said even females shy of having this conversation. But why are you so interested in this topic?
Thank you. So basically, I'm inspired by SDG number 5 that talks about that, but also specifically empowering women as well. The key phrase here for me will be disadvantaged or young girls in our rural communities. And I mean, period poverty is something that men will probably not even talk about it. People will shy away from it. Even women will shy away from it because it's seen as a sacred or a taboo. Hardly talk about period, that. But we live in a society where we have a lot of disadvantaged girls and women, and I think that to be able to fulfill SDG number 5, I have taken it upon myself to bridge that gap, especially for disadvantaged girls, not just them, but specifically persons with disability in our rural communities. These are people you hardly talk about, and then some wonder how do when it comes to period, when it comes to their menses, how do they go about it? Let's talk about the persons with disability. Do we even have enough facilities to be able to accommodate them so that they can be able to have their period without any restrictions and all that? So I'm inspired by providing or bridging the gap when it comes to women empowerment and to be able to make sanitary products, affordable and accessible to them. So at least they are not left behind, as we journey along life as well. Thank you.
Intriguing, like into this whole. And God bless you, and thank you, darling. Um, you've had this before. This is not your first advocacy. Can you tell us a little bit of the projects that you've embarked on, either as an individual or as as an advocacy or as a volunteer on other projects? What sort of projects have you embarked on, and what has kept you going? Because like I'm saying, even with females, it's not easy. So as a man, what has kept you going all this time?
Yeah, thank you. So basically, my core interests is in menstrual hygiene advocacy, and this year will be my fourth year undertaking such advocacy works, specifically in rural communities where these girls are disadvantaged or women are disadvantaged, and even don't have ready access to sanitary products or even hygiene kits to even use in the first place. I
Mm,
think that we've come a long way. It started as a birthday um, give back to society, and it's transitioned into an annual thing for me. And I go out there with volunteers, health volunteers. So you have psychologists, you have medical doctors, you have other professionals in there, and not just advocating on period management, but at least there's some form of mentorship, career mentorship, and also where we also use that opportunity to evangelize to these girls,
mm,
just as a way of letting them understand that they are never left alone. We always think about them, or I always think about them with my team, and I'm happy to give back to society in any way that I can. I mean, that is the purpose of 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 our mission, of our call in society. And I think that I would encourage almost everyone out there, especially our male colleagues, to take it upon themselves that at least not just celebrating your birthday, but try to give back to society, especially to the
Mm,
disadvantaged ones in society as well. So over the years, it's been a very exciting journey with menstrual hygiene advocacy. And basically, I focus my advocacy works in the eastern region, to be precise. Over the years, I've had it in the Kwewu South municipality, and this year we are moving towards the Akropong municipality as well as specifically school for the blind at Akropong. Yes, but it's been an exciting journey, and I'm looking forward to many more collaboration with your foundation and any like-minded individual or volunteers organizations out there. It's a collective approach for us to
mhm.
be able to defeat period poverty and make life comfortable to the disadvantaged girls in society.
Sure. Thank you. So thank you very much for your for explaining how far you've come, and so why that specific area? I think you mentioned it's in the eastern region, right? Why that
Yeah.
specific area?
So I come from the eastern region, to be precise, Kwewu or Bomi in the eastern region, and over the years I have noticed that. So it started from the COVID era where we had a lockdown, and you know we noticed that these girls were disadvantaged in terms of having ready access to menstrual um, hygiene products, etc. And then it also brought about some form of increase in teenage pregnancy and all that. So I took it upon myself that we want to be able to reduce teenage pregnancy. We want to be able to make sure sanitary pads or sanitary pads or sanitary products are readily accessible to these girls in our communities. Not just these girls, but also persons with disability also are not left behind in this. So that has been the concept that I've been running with for the past 3 years, and this year will be the fourth year. But this year, the emphasis is on a disadvantaged community, which is the Akropong, specifically with the School for the Blind. So this year, we want to show some love to them with our menstrual hygiene advocacy.
You've said so far.
Are you able to hear me? I think I'm losing track of our voice. Yeah. I can barely hear. Can you hear me? Yeah, for okay, but I can hear you. Hello. I can I can't hear you.
I don't know what to do then
Okay,
because I
yeah.
guess
So I can hear you now.
right. Okay. All right. So yeah, my question was: is this your first? In so is this the you've been donating and you've been advocating for this initiative? Is this specific beneficiary is your first time of um I don't want to use the word target, but is this are these are the school for the blind or people with this or those with disabilities your first donation, like as in
Yeah,
with this
yeah,
sort of okay, all right, cool.
yeah, exactly.
And
So for persons living with disability, this would be the very first call to them as
okay,
well. Yeah.
all right,
and,
okay,
and the
that's
whole
great.
idea the whole idea is to let them understand that when we talk about gender equality, they are never left out of the
Mm,
equation. Yes, it involves inclusion, and then we must also make sure that whatever benefits other girls are also receiving, they are equally entitled to receive same. So no discrimination in here. They equally should also benefit from the good works that I do out there.
much. So now let's get we've been trying to build up on the conversation instead of just jumping straight into it without any foundation. And there's going to be a lot more of these conversations
Yeah,
in the coming week. So today is just to talk about why this initiative, why it's so important to talk about, and to be honest, I think that this sort of advocacy should be going on every day because every day a child or a girl starts menstruating, either the
yeah,
first time or as a real caring thing being a woman. And
yeah,
so until those what we're trying to accomplish is achieved, is should be an everyday conversation. And I always say that we need more men as well as we need women, because as a woman, this conversation is not something we have a lot, and then when you have it too, sometimes it can become very uncomfortable, obviously because of either the fact that we don't talk about it a lot, or the fact that even though we are still trying to advocate about it, we still have that perception that it's a sacred topic that we shouldn't talk about. However, we can't take away the fact that it is an issue now, especially when you go to the shop to get um products and it's so expensive. I still complain about it, but the thing is you need it. So even with being able to afford it, it doesn't take the fact that this is expensive. Products, menstrual products have gone astronomical. The prices are ridiculous right now.
the whole truth is, Efwa, the whole truth is that it is seen as a luxurious product and it is even
And
taxed. That's the thing. So in Ghana here, it is taxed. Okay, it is seen
abysmal.
as luxurious. Yeah, I mean, who in their right senses? I mean, it is these girls or women cannot be blamed. It is part of the human nature. It is how God
Mm,
has created them to be unique. And even countries like in Germany, it is taxed. Sanitary
mhm.
products are taxed. You get it.
Yeah, it's
So
it's
country that is thriving, and especially we have rural community girls who bear to even have access to some of these things. You can just imagine if
mhm,
they are not able to afford it. Some unscrupulous gentleman somewhere, I would even use the word gentleman, some unscrupulous men out there, would equally deceive them
mm,
into, okay, you want this, give me sex in exchange. The end result is teenage pregnancy, and that is the whole idea of us reaching out to end this kind of discrimination that is going on there, and also to reach out to policyholders that I think that we've come a long way. We should rather encourage entrepreneurs to be able to set up sanitary manufacturing companies in Ghana here, make it so affordable, and then we shelve off the tax component. You get it. So it will go a long way, but I mean, we can only start with this advocacy that we are doing, and I think that policy uh, um, 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 yes, the people that matter when it comes to policy advocacy or policy implementation in the country, would somehow will take it up, and we would someday have taxes being shelved off on our sanitary products as well. Yeah,
My question is, these people making the policies, right? Even if they're no women, I mean men, their
yeah,
their sisters, their daughters, their wives, their
yeah,
girlfriends, their
yeah,
concubines, you name it.
yeah.
I'm sure they complain. So why is it still an ongoing situation? It shouldn't really be a situation, but here
It
we are,
shouldn't. It
um,
shouldn't.
advocating about it, and I still don't understand. I'm
Yeah,
trying to I'm waiting for the moment that I'll be able to ask this question to the right people, just so that I can also get their mindset or the reasons behind
yeah.
it. Why these products are taxed, and why all these years they've not thought about the fact that it's not a luxury. A
Yeah,
woman menstruating and needing the products to be able to cater for herself is not a luxury. It shouldn't,
exactly.
yeah, it shouldn't
I mean,
really
I mean,
break
I
the
mean,
bank.
you can't blame a woman for menstruating. I mean, it is no fault of theirs.
Mm.
You get it. It is no fault of theirs, and I think it boils down to the political will. I have a girlfriend, I have a concubine, I have a side chick. They also menstruate,
Mhm.
and it is not appropriate to tax sanitary products. We haven't had this before until quite recently. You get it, and I'm sure other countries, yes, I know of Germany where sanitary products are taxed, but I'm sure with time it will be shelved off as well. The thing is that we want to make sanitary pads or sanitary products readily accessible and readily affordable to every girl or woman out there. We've gone past the stage where girls and women are using cloths, they are using toilet rolls because they can't afford basic sanitary pads.
Mm.
We want to shelve that and then use more hygienic products so that at least they don't end up contracting all kinds of infectious diseases and all that. So, to the policy makers out there watching us all over the world, in Ghana and across the globe through this platform, let's go back to Parliament and let's scrap these taxes on sanitary products, which we have termed as luxurious products. It is fine to tax probably expensive vehicles, as luxurious products, but for Christ's sake, not a sanitary product that is
Mm.
supposed to help cushion the young girl, the young woman, especially the disadvantaged girl in our rural communities. You know, I mean, I'm just hoping the policymakers out there will listen to us. Go
I'm
back
sure
to
they come across
Parliament.
the one
Yes,
once in a while, or
exactly,
every now and again.
exactly,
They know they
exactly,
hear they hear. Yeah.
exactly. They should go back to Parliament and simply scrap it off. It should be scrapped off,
Mm.
and it requires a strong political will to say that yes, shelve it. We could look for other products to tax to be able to rake in income or revenue into the state, but not sanitary products. Not at all.
Mm. Yeah. Like you're saying, luxury. I still don't know how it's a luxury. It's a necessity. So if we're not taxing all these essential, necessary basic human needs out there, I don't know why we're having to tax these. But anyway,
Then we could equally be taxing hygiene kits as well, because then we
Mhm,
can turn them
mhm,
as luxurious products.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
then once somebody is menstruating, they need a soap to wash their hands, tissue papers to be able to clean their hands and all that. We should be able to tell us, then we should classify them as luxurious products. But it shouldn't be. It should never be. It
Mm-hmm.
should never be the case. Yes.
Yeah.
And to the policy makers out there, are members of parliament or legislators out there, wherever they are, all over the world. Let's take a second look at this and let's shelve it from our tax system so that at least it becomes so accessible and they're really affordable so that every girl out there can easily afford it as well. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much for that submission. And funny enough, I've actually not heard it in any government or politician's manifesto or promises, when it comes to
To
all these.
shelve it, oh, and
Yeah, I think
we are in an
I think
election year.
I think that would actually get them votes. Look at the number of women we have. It would definitely get them
Exactly.
some votes. But
All
anyway, we
all that we have heard is that certain taxes will be shelved off, but we are yet to see the exact components
taxes.
of the taxes
Mm,
that they want to shelve off as well. My only hope and prayer is that some of these products will be part of some of the taxes that will be shelved off. Whoever comes into power, I mean, we should have menstrual products being so accessible and affordable to every woman or every girl out there,
yeah,
irrespective of wherever they find themselves all over the world. It should be accessible, it should be available to them, and it should be economical for them to afford it as well.
sure. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Yes. So thank you to those that are listening on or watching on YouTube and on LinkedIn. This is a topic that is very dear to us as AAA Foundation and Paul Asante, hence why we've come together with this initiative called Flow for All. Reason being the fact that people with disability will not be left behind, and people in rural areas will not be left behind. Funny enough, right? Even those living in big towns or capital towns are also facing period poverty, because at the end of the
Yeah, yeah,
day, when you calculate the product and how much it is, it gets to a point, some months you have to engage or indulge in certain activities with guys, especially with our young ones who are still in
yeah,
school, and mom or dad or home is not that great after paying fees and all these bills to
yeah.
also be able to buy these products. So it's gotten to a point where certain unscrupulous men are also taking advantage of these girls. So
Not,
it
not
is
just men, but the boys also in school.
what the
Are
boys,
also
yes.
taking advantage. Yeah, they're also taking
Yes,
advantage of them. Yeah.
yeah.
So
And when, and that's the thing, it's it's not just the fact that period poverty is not good in itself, but it's all these extra things that comes with it that can be taken care of. Teenage
yeah,
pregnancy for one, what STDs, all these infections that would then take these girls to the hospital. Some even lose their lives.
yeah,
Yeah, it's because when the infection gets out of hand and they're not able to get the right treatment, it gets to a point where they lose their lives, because some of these infection ends up in the womb, causes extra on bacterial growth and so many other things that comes with the health. It affects the woman's health, and it's something that it's avoidable. These things are
yeah,
avoidable, and so we're pleading with our policymakers to actually heed to these conversations and take it serious
yeah,
when it comes to removing these taxes from these products. Well,
yeah,
let's go back to this initiative that we are trying to embark on and why it
yeah,
is so important. um
yeah,
so people with disabilities, they're already more or less outcasted when it comes to being part of the community. And then when it comes to the time of the month as well, regardless of your status or where you are, sometimes it makes you feel unwanted. The stigma that is attached to, the flow these individuals end up being, I think they're like double outcasted. Let me put it that way. So this is why it's very important for us to extend this initiative to them as well. So, Paul, let me ask you this question: how important is this, and why did you actually choose these specific um, individuals to extend this sort of advocacy to?
All right, thank you. So, in my earlier submission, I did mention that I'm very passionate about menstrual hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for disadvantaged girls in our rural communities. Now, the emphasis this year is on persons with disability because I feel they are the least talked about, or they are the least talked about in society. We tend to come up with so many good packages, with so many interventions, but we hardly would take care of persons with disability, and we just leave them just like that. In
Mm.
terms of our policy, advocacy in government and all that, we hardly would even take persons with disability. So this year, I'm focusing on them. I want to bring sanitary products to their doorstep. So you can imagine somebody who is disadvantaged. Parents have had to struggle to be able to buy all the basic things they need to be able to go to school. Now, on the average, a heavy flow lady may probably use about two sanitary pads per month. And if you are buying a sanitary pad, average of about 20 Ghana cedis or 25 Ghana cedis.
You mean
Now, a
two packs?
parent, yes, just two packs.
Yes.
So if you're a heavy flow person, you might end up using about two packs because ideally you're supposed to change between 4 to 6 hours every day. And a pack and one pack may probably contain about eight, yeah, about eight, between 6 to 8 pieces, in there. So you imagine if you are changing your sanitary pads between 4 to 6 hours, which is the recommended approach when it comes to menstrual hygiene. Now you have persons with disability. They don't even have the means to afford these things. They depend on their parents. Imagine buying a sanitary pad, average of about 20 cedis or 25 cedis. Parent now has to calculate, my daughter, or yes, let's say about a quarter at about 4 months, and I have to buy about average of about two packs per month. And sometimes you can have your menstruation twice a month, depending
Mm.
on how your hormones are. So parents will have to struggle and buy about two cartons or a carton for them to be able to send to school. Imagine these are products that are luxurious and they are taxed. People struggle in our rural communities to even afford basic meals in a day, let alone buying luxurious, let me call it a luxurious product for their wards to. That is the thing. They can't afford it. So my goal this year, as part of my birthday, is to give back specifically to persons living with disability. And this year, the emphasis is on the Akropong School for the Blind. Now, one other thing is that we must also show some love. I mean, the Bible tells us that we should show love to one another, our colleagues, or whoever it is that we come into contact with. We should
Mm.
consider it as doing it for Christ Jesus. So yes, I'm celebrating my birthday, and I'm carrying out this initiative together with Triple A Foundation. And the whole idea is that we want to bring smiles to persons with disability, especially the blind. We want to let them understand that they are never left alone. And it also goes to fulfill SDG number 5 that talks about gender equality. We must never discriminate against persons with disability. It goes against our conscience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We must show some love to them. And that is one of the key things why myself and then your foundation are embarking on this activity. So at least I climaxed the birthday in a very joyful way with them, with your foundation as well.
Nice, nice, nice. Yes. So what are you looking to achieve with your with the donation? What is the mission? What is the vision? And what sort of items are we looking to donate? What impact? What is the impact here?
All right, so the whole idea is to make sanitary products and other hygiene kits available to these persons with disabilities, especially for the blind. That is the basic concept that I'm running this, to
Hmm.
make it accessible to them. And the whole idea is to show some love to them as part of my birthday. So
Wow,
basically,
what a way to
just just
celebrate a
just
birthday.
just giving back to society, no matter how big or small it is. I believe that, like I said in our previous webinars, little is much when God is in it. So
Mm-hmm.
no matter how big or small, we are able to pull resources together to be able to provide some of these sanitary pads. It will go a long way to mitigate transmitted diseases, the
Mm-hmm.
stigma, the kind of stigma they feel that, how am I going to go through my menstrual cycle and all that. Sanitary pads are very expensive and all that. Remember that they depend on the benevolence of organizations and individuals like us to be able to put smiles on their faces and to be able to manage their menstrual period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so going out there, showing them some love, and giving them some of these free things, I believe that it's not out of place to do that, especially as I climax my birthday with your foundation and all that. And then to the next question, what are some of the things that we are looking at? So we are looking at sanitary pads, and in all, the target is about 100 girls in the school. We are targeting 100 girls in the school, and then we are going to provide them with sanitary pads, with toilet rolls. They need, how do you call it, washing soap to be able
Yeah.
to, exactly. So these are the things that we are looking out for on them. So the sanitary pads we're targeting, because there are about 100 girls, we anticipate about 50 packs of them should be able to cater for them, at least for the next four between months. Average person will receive about between 7 to 8 packs. That should be able to take care of them for quite some months to come, until we show some love again in another form to them as well. So sanitary pads, tissue, tea rolls, tissue, jumbo tissue packs. We need hand liquid soaps. So at least we can also, as much as providing these things for them, we must also ensure that their health is also well taken care of. You can't menstruate and not be able to have hygiene kits to be able to wash your hands and take proper care of themselves. And they are depending on the benevolence of some of us to be able to get some of these things done. So at least they go through their life easily without contracting any form of infection
Hmm.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much. So the thing is that I like the fact that you just didn't look at um, we're just donating uh, menstrual products, but you thought of the hygienic side of things, which a lot of us tend to forget, or not think about it. When you finish changing your pad, you need to wash your hand. Even before and after, because of transfer of bacteria. Using the
Yeah.
tissue to wipe your hands and so on and so forth, or even clean yourself before you put a clean one on, or
Yeah.
even using the loo during it
Yeah.
too. You need the tea rolls to use. So
Yeah.
again, when whenever I have to have this conversation with you, I don't know why I don't know.
So you see, if
God, God
yourself,
bless you. God, no,
if
seriously, God bless
yourself as a female, okay,
you.
you
Mm.
even struggle to talk about menstrual hygiene,
I tell
because it
you.
is because it is something that is seen as sacred, and we are not supposed to talk about it in
Mm.
society. You get it? So once you begin to talk about it, sometimes people struggle to even find the words to talk
To
about.
use. I'm very
Yes, to you.
cautious using certain words when I'm having this
Yes,
conversation. I shouldn't have to think of a way to express. It is what it is. Like we're using words like flow instead of period.
yes,
We shouldn't really be, but this is the society that we live in. And I'm
exactly.
looking for the time or the day where we will freely be able to have this conversation without having to, rethink of our environment or our who we are having the
Exactly.
conversation, and we can normalize talking about menstruation and
Exactly.
period. I'm looking forward to that
I,
day,
I,
and
I, I,
you'll be
I
part
for
of
once,
history.
yes,
You'll
I
be
mean,
part
I
of
for once,
history.
thank you. I for once, I don't shy away talking about menstrual hygiene
You
because
don't need to
it
tell
is
me,
something,
Paul.
yes, it is something that I'm very passionate about because I mean, I like to venture into terrains that people see it as a challenge
Mm,
for guys to even go there and talk about it, even thinking about it. I'll dare to say that such a field. I'll advocate to our young girls and women, and not just, I mean, the men, we should be able to also feel free to let our ladies talk about menstrual hygiene. The thing is that we must support them, we must be supportive and also be inclusive of
mm,
every discussion when it comes to menstrual period, it comes to period poverty and all that. So yes, I'm not shy about it. I will say it as it is to be able to
mm,
let people understand that listen, we've gone past that stage where it is a taboo. We've gone
mm-hmm,
past that stage
mm-hmm.
where it is seen as a sacred topic to even talk about. Parents even struggle to talk about it with their
I
with
tell
their
you.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Once their females daughters begin to, or they reach the stage of puberty, and then they have their first blood flow, it becomes very difficult to even find the words to be able to
To explain
to
it
say
properly, educate
exactly,
the
exactly,
girl
because
child on this
exactly
topic.
because they were brought up in a society where these things are not spoken about, these things are seen as taboos, let alone talk about it in the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
we have as yeah we've gone past that stage where we will probably sit them in a very secluded area and not want to let others interfere in the conversation, and even when you're having the discussion with them and somebody passes, you want to pause and then look around and see nobody's listening and all that. Let's have free conversations with them.
Sure. I
Okay,
don't. I
yes,
wouldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
I'm
know, no, I know it comes to human biology and all those things, they talk about it, but not so much.
not
But
so much.
again,
No.
to our parents out there watching this, all of, let's begin to normalize having conversations about period management,
Mm,
about
sure.
menstrual cycle with our females, with our male as well. Let's have an open discussion. Once we do that, we are able to do away with this stigma that is associated with menstruation, that it is, excuse me to say, it is dirty blood, it is so nasty. I don't even want to talk about it. No, let's about it. Let's look at how we can support our females. Let's look at
Mm,
how we can support our disadvantaged girls. Let's look at how we can support persons living with disability who are the least talked about, who are the least supported when it comes to period management in Ghana here and all over the world. Yeah.
sure. Sure. Thank you. I can feel that passion in your voice. So the thing is, whilst you were speaking, right? Oh, Hilda, Hope, thank you for engaging in the comment section, and to those that are listening but not really engaging in the comment section, also thank you for joining. Hilda says this is a great initiative. Thank you, Hilda. Hope is laughing. I guess you're enjoying the male aspect of this conversation, and how passionate Paul Asante is. So please, Paul needs more men to embark on this journey with him. you shouldn't be shy. You shouldn't be scared to have this conversation. Because at the end of the day, you like we were saying, you have a mother, you have a sister, concubines and girlfriends and whatnot.
Exactly.
So and you know what? I will use this opportunity to actually share a story. So basic first aid training. It is one thing that I couldn't be asked with to spend time to learn. Then I sat down and realized, what if I need a basic first aid and there's nobody around? That means I'll be able to help myself. And then funny enough, there was a time that this training really came um made sense for me to have had it. It came handy where
Yeah.
it was a stranger. Actually, we were in the shopping mall, and a stranger, and I was able to use this basic first aid that I had to sort of contain or maintain the whole situation before the experts came in. It's just like learning these things. You'll be able to administer advice or be able to understand the female or the girls or the women around you, and be able to sympathize, empathize, and even understand the whole idea of mood swings. When people are some girls become very slow at work, they're not themselves. You'll be able to understand the biology of it and be not just empathetic and sympathetic, but also know that, okay, this is the time of the month, this is what they need, this is what they go through, and also be that person that they can rely on, because you understand. It's not like we're during that time of the month we are no human or anything anymore. It's just that things happen. We our hormones are all over the place, so we just need that extra, I would say, extra care, and very the soft life comes very handy when it's that time of the month. So
I like the words you are using. The last time I think I used those words. Yes, yes. Men and their girlfriends, when they are menstruating, they should show them some proper TLC.
mhm.
Yes, home. Take over the kitchen, take over the household. Let your wife rest and manage it whilst they go through that transition. It's just for 5 days, maximum of about 7 days.
To be
So
honest with
take
you,
it
it's the
over.
first 3 days. The first three
Yeah,
days can be a
can be
lot
so
to.
painful.
Yes, it can
Can
be
be
a
so
lot to
painful.
contain
Yes,
because
you
the
have you
cramps.
have yes, severe abdominal pains. Very, very, very severe.
Hey, Paul, have you
And,
menstruated before? Because I'm very concerned right now.
no, so you see, I told you that I'm also a gender focal person for my organization, German Development Corporation, specifically the energy cluster in Ghana. So, and
Hmm.
I interact a lot with female colleagues.
But it's
Even
good that you've availed yourself for females to, be can freely talk to you about these things or confide in you with these things. So it's impressive. It's impressive.
you see, once we begin to have this conversation, they also end up having that kind of self confidence to know that I can freely talk about menstruation with a man or a guy who understands the nitty gritty of menstrual health management.
Hmm. Strength of
Okay,
management.
now when it happens like that, you see, they are. So, for instance, in our rural communities, um, when females are menstruating, they are sometimes compelled not to even go to school.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
you can imagine persons living with disability, specifically the blind one, or people who are handicapped and they need
Assist.
walking aids, yes, walking aids to be able to go, the wheelchairs and all those things. You can imagine how they feel when they are menstruating and they don't have people to encourage them and let them know that it is part of the human cycle. That is how God created them. But the first 3 days, 4 days, yeah, the first 3 days might be so painful, especially the first day, because then you have so much, like the severity of your pains, your abdominal pains is so severe that you kind of lose yourself, Um, you can't concentrate, um, loss of appetite, and all those things. Some end up even taking painkillers and all
Mm-hmm.
those things, which also have its own health implications and all that. But we must understand that every lady's body is unique. No matter who you are, your body is unique. Your hormones are unique, and that is how God created you. And you just have to avail yourself, talk to people. Some complain, well, they have painful nipples when they are about menstruating and all those things. How then can you advise them to, what are some of the things they need to be doing and all that? Are there foods they can take to be able to help, manage the pain and all those things? We must normalize talking about menstrual health in
Must
Ghana and
normalize it.
all over the world,
Definitely.
especially in our corporate settings. We must
Mm-hmm.
normalize talking about it. In our schools, we must normalize talking about it. If it means training teachers to be able to dedicate some 30 minutes, each day or each month to talk about menstrual management to these girls in school. Let's do that. To our community schools, our communities, and all that, town hall meetings, our queen mothers should be the forerunners of some of these things, educate our older folks so that at least they can also, pass on the knowledge again to their kids at home and all that. But let's begin to talk about it and not shy away from
From the
it.
conversation,
Yes,
conversation, definitely.
let us not
Yeah.
shy away from it. And for me, it's very important because, specifically for those that are disadvantaged, the facilities they find themselves in or the environment they find themselves in, do we have access to clean water? Do we have access to suitable washrooms that they can use to menstruate?
Mm.
These are the questions that we should be asking ourselves. And as a society, what can we do to be able to make lives of persons with disability so soft and easier for them not to feel discriminated against? That is the whole concept that we want to back in this initiative. They must never feel discriminated against. That's the thing. They must never feel discriminated to menstruation.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I was gonna say what you've already answered my next question with throwing it out there on who we need to get involved in this conversation, and you've already answered that. So my next submission is anybody, including females and men out there that are into female empowerment, all these feminist activities out there, NGOs and whatnot. We shouldn't always look at the corporate side. We shouldn't always look at the position side. We shouldn't always look at the pay side. We should we should find ways and means to add menstrual poverty to our discussion.
Exactly.
It
And we should be talking
there's
about it
not
even in church. We should be talking about it in church. Yes.
exactly because there's a lot of fight for equal pay, equal
Exactly.
positions, whatever, but I know there are foundations and organizations that have started, but there's not a lot of talk. So we just wait for once in a year on the 28th of May where, there's all
And
these,
then we
there's
make all
this,
the noise about it.
and then
After
it's just
24
there.
hours, after
But
24 hours, it is gone. And then
yes,
we come back
it
again
should,
to the
it
next
should
year.
it should be an everyday conversation, an everyday thing, because every
Exactly.
day a girl menstruates, every day
Yeah.
a woman, goes through this pain. It's everyday issue. As someone is coming out of their menstrual cycle, another is also experiencing it either for the first time or for how many ever times that they've had to
Yeah.
go through this, and they're having to buy these products every month, every day. It
Yeah.
is a it's an everyday issue. Just like we need water and electricity and clean air and whatnot. Is the same as sanitary products. So organizations and foundations and all these bodies out there fighting for equal human rights and equal what's it gender advocacy out there. Menstrual
Yeah.
health or menstrual poverty is also one that needs the attention on a continuous basis, on everyday topic, on everyday conversation, because it's a thing that happens and affects women and girls every day, every single day. I cannot
Every.
stress
Yeah.
on that enough. It's an everyday issue, and we as people, we as even if we don't get the organizations to get involved, we as individuals should also do the little that we can to be able to be part of the solution and not always the problem and always waiting for other people to bring the
Yeah.
solution. So, Paul, again, thank you very much. What a way to celebrate a birthday um, by donating menstrual products. Um, and, as a way of also giving back to the community, as I can see or I can tell, it's your way of giving back to the community that you grew up or you come from, which is great to see. So, to our listeners, it is a big list. It's a big initiative. This has got to be one of the biggest partnership that AAA has had to embark on. So we can't do it alone. It's not
Yeah.
a one person or two people's um, job. It is 100 people. It's not a child's play, especially having to donate not just the pads but also the other hygiene items that comes with it. So
Yeah.
this is a way for us to throw it out there that we're looking for more partners, we're looking for sponsors, we're looking for donors to be able to make this happen. So please get in contact with myself or Paul and let us know how best or how well you'll be able to also join. We're not just looking for individuals, we're looking for, corporate, groups, foundations, entities, and whatnot out there to donate, either take a part of say we I'm sponsoring one girl for a month and give us that item either in
Exactly.
kind or in money for us to be able to purchase the items on the day that we want to make the donation. So freely and kindly promote this for us as well. What you can also do is um, um, spread the word, flow for all, leaving no one behind is
Yeah.
our initiative on this is the name for this initiative as we go forward, and we know that with God on our side and with your help and support, we will be able to accomplish it. And at the end of the day, it wouldn't be just for us, it's the fact that we're being part of the solution. So without wasting much more time, it's been a fruitful conversation, and thank you all for still sticking with us on a Friday evening, having this conversation with myself and Paul Asante. So, Paul, your final words as we come to a close with this, and we will have further conversations. So, like we said, this was just to,
Yeah.
unveil or launch the initiative. So,
Yeah.
there will be more conversations on specific topics as we move on. So, Paul, your last words.
So I would also like to let our viewers all over the world know that it is not just a donation that we are seeking to do. There will be career coaching, and then there will also be mentorship as well. I believe that the fact that you are disadvantaged doesn't mean you cannot be a successful career person in the future. We have had people who um, are disadvantaged, or have a disability, but have come out as very good lawyers and
Mhm.
other practitioners all over the world. Yeah, so we are also reaching out that yes, there'll be some form of counseling, there'll be some form of career coaching and mentorship as well. And like Efua has said, I mean, I can't do it all by myself. That is how come we are reaching out to everyone out there watching you. contribute in kind or in cash. So at least we put smiles on the faces of these disadvantaged girls in society. And I would also want to say that once you show this love, you might be saving so much of a life, for them. And the blessings, obviously comes in multiple folds. Probably not to you, but to the future generations that will come after you as well. So let's go out there. Let's normalize talking about menstrual hygiene. Let's talk about period poverty. To our guys out there, let's come together. Let's talk about it. Let's have open discussions with our female colleagues, and then let's see how best we can also support our female colleagues, our wives, our girlfriends, wherever. Let's find out how we can also support them when it comes to that time of the month. What can we do to make their lives easier? How can we take off the burden? Let's put some smiles on their faces during that 7 day period that they go through this menstruation as well. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. So um we've got um a lot of comments in the comment section and some of them beginning to tickle me. So um our very dear Chrissy is asked oh wait, I'm here, I'm getting feedback. So yes, so Chrissy, Hilda, Hope, thank you very much for engaging in our comment section. Hope says, I used to even feel shy on their behalf. this, this is not even funny. On their behalf, like how?
Yeah, you
But
see,
then
it's
again,
very difficult. It's very difficult.
it
It's very
is,
difficult
it
even
is.
for females when they go
Mm-hmm.
through menstruation, let alone to even speak about it. You can
Yeah,
imagine having a female going to another female in the office. I'm sorry, my menses just came. Can I get a pad? It's very difficult for even to
yes.
approach them. So if we are talking about it
We shy
now,
amongst ourselves.
yeah,
Amongst ourselves, we shy away. We don't want the next person to know that we're on our period. Um,
yeah,
hey, Hope. I used to feel shy on their behalf. Thank you very much. This is empathy. Thank you. We understand. It's all good.
yeah.
This was junior attitude or behavior, but now I'll do better. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank
At
you,
least,
thank you,
yeah, at
thank
least
you, thank
now
you.
you're learning. So yes,
Yeah,
please. And this is part of it. This is the education side of it. Sometimes we do things without knowing. We
yeah.
do things without really considering the effect or the aftermath of it, unless we come together to have these sort of conversations and educate ourselves. And to be honest, I do even though you advocate and you do these things, sometimes to come out and speak about it, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to sit down and have these sensitive conversations, but it has to be done. Someone needs to do it, and I'm glad that um we are having this conversation and we've got people listening. Chrissy says it's insightful session. Thank you, Chrissy.
Thank
Our
you, Christine.
our utmost advocacy in the background. Paul, have you experienced menstrual pains before? Of course he hasn't, Chrissy. Why you like this? He hasn't, but as he said, he's a gender focal point, and I'm sure he's witnessed it a number of times, and people confiding in him. Oh, Paul, I'm speaking for you.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, I have people reach out to me to talk about, their periods, and you see, when it gets to that stage, you as a man, you must also show some form of empathy, and all they want is a listening ear. They need some comforting words to let them know that, hey, it will just be over in a few days. It will just be over in a few days. And if you need to take some time off from work to do that, hey, whatever work that it is, workload, just pass it on to me. I'll handle it. Just go home, take some off days, and then just deal with it. I mean, and constantly as men, we should be checking up on our wives when they are menstruating. We should be checking up on our girlfriends when they are menstruating, just to show some form of empathy that yes, we care about them, give them a sanitary pad. It's the soft life living at this
I'm
stage.
telling you
Very
that that time of the me for me, I will not be
yes,
shy. The first 3 days, it's not easy. Oh, it's not easy. That first 3 days, read our message, Christy. Please, I've read it. Right. Thank you all very much. As we
thank
come,
you.
we bring this to an end. Let's do better as we know better. Let's be part of the solution and not the problem. And in our own little way as well. They say a little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. So the little help that we give, the little not just the little help, but the little efforts that we put in together as a collective will bring about the change that we seek. So thank you all for joining us, and it's always a pleasure having you, Paul Asante. There's never a dull moment on these topics, and also the fact that we are learning from each other. So thank you very much. And as we've said, this is a great initiative that we're embarking on with Paul Asante, and thank you for having us or approaching us to be partners on this. So flow for all, leaving no one behind.
Yeah,
It's very dear to us. And if you want to sponsor, if you want to be part of this initiative, please do get in contact with myself or any member of AAA or Paul Asante. And then we'll be able to, or even if you want to be a guest and be part of this conversation, because you also bring a different perspective, please let us know, and you will gladly host you on our next event. So without wasting much more time, thank you for those that are still with us even after an hour of this conversation. And those engaging in our comment section, those that have been with AAA all this while, thank you so much. Since we started, there's been constant support, and we do appreciate you all. So thank you. Do not forget that we have an online store which actually helps us to fund these initiatives and projects that we embark on. So AAA Clothing is a sustainable fashion telling the story of most, if not all, of our beneficiaries and the people that we are trying to reach or make their lives thrive or thrive in their lives. So please do check our website, www.aagroup.com, and it will take you to our AAA clothing website. Um, we do ship worldwide, and we are offering free shipping on majority. I think it's nine at the moment. We're at 90% free shipping, and it's worldwide as well. So kindly have a look, and if there is a specific design that you want that you can't find, realize it as well. So you don't have a problem at all. It's a sustainable fashion. We think of the environment, and so most of our materials are environmental friendly, organic materials that we use. So thank you very much. Check us out, follow our pages, like, subscribe. We're on YouTube as well. This will be recorded, or people are watching us on YouTube. Yes, sorry, our YouTube viewers, thank you very much as well for joining us. I think we focus a lot on LinkedIn and we forget that there's the YouTube viewers as well. So thank you
yeah.
all very much. And
Thank
we will
you.
be coming your way again, I think, on Wednesday evening on another topic. Thank you. God bless you. Have a lovely evening. Enjoy the weekend until we meet again. Thank you, Paul Asante, for being our lovely guest.
Thank you. Thank you. And have a wonderful evening wherever you are in the world too. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.